Ball manager Casey Stengel out talking over the grounds rules here at Dodger Stadium. A good crowd on hand on a fine night here in Los Angeles. The day started out somewhat cloudy with a threat of rain, but the sunshine broke through in the afternoon, and we now have just about a perfect night for baseball. Let's check the starting lineups for the game tonight. For the New York Mets, Richie Ashburn will play in center field and lead off. Batting second in right field, Joe Christopher. Batting in the third position, playing third base, Cliff Cook. The fourth batter will be Frank Thomas. He'll be in left field. Batting fifth and playing first base, Marv Throneberry. Batting in the sixth position and playing second base, Charlie Neal. Batting seventh in the shortstop position, Elio Chacon. Batting in the eighth position and doing the catching, Hobie Landreth. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher for the New York Mets, a left-hander, Al Jackson. For the second place Los Angeles Dodgers, Maury Wills will lead off and play shortstop. Batting second, playing third base, Jim Gilliam. In the third position in the batting order and playing center field, Willie Davis. In the cleanup spot, Tommy Davis. He'll be in left field. Batting fifth, playing right field, Frank Howard. The sixth batter will be Ron Fairley at first base. Batting seventh, playing second base, Larry Burwright. The eighth man will be the catcher, Norm Sherry. And on the mound, a young rookie right-hander, Joe Moeller. The Dodgers have won 12 of their last 16 games to move within 1.5 games of the league-leading Giants. They have won their last 4 games, which equals their longest winning streak of this season. And, of course, the Giants playing tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies up in San Francisco. Well, the umpires for today's game waiting out on the field for the Los Angeles Dodgers to take the field. It'll be Ed Vargo behind home plate. At first base, Doug Harvey. The second base umpire will be Al Barlick. And at third base, Shag Crawford. Well, right now, the big right-hander for the Dodgers completing his warm-up pitches on the mound, and stepping in as the leadoff man will be Richie Ashburn. Moeller is 19 years old, and he's had only 1 year of professional experience. It was spent with 3 clubs. He started out in Class C, moved to Class A, and finished up in AAA. In all 3 leagues, he had a 20-9 record, and he pitched a total of 237 innings, striking out 295. And the first pitch to Richie Ashburn is high, ball 1. Joe Moore averaged 11 2/3 strikeouts per 9-inning game in the minor leagues last year, and he pitched 7 shutouts. He's a big fellow, right-hander. Next pitch to Ashburn is a called strike at the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Norm Sherry behind the plate doing the catching for the Dodgers. At first base, Ron Fairley. At second base, Larry Burwright. At shortstop, Maury Wills. At third base, Jim Gilliam. Now the big right-hander into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch is a called strike to Jim Gilliam, who was playing very short on Ashburn, now moving back of the bag about 7 steps. Outfield shifted way over towards the left. In left field, it's Tommy Davis. In center field, Willie Davis. They're not related. In right field, Frank Howard. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First batter in the game. The 1-2 pitch is just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moeller was born in Chicago, Illinois, and he certainly has started out in fine shape in his 1 year of professional ball. He shakes no on the first sign from Sherry, now goes in the windup. The 2-2 pitch to Ashburn's high, ball 3. So Richie Ashburn going all the way down the line as he leads off in the ball game here at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Joe Christopher on deck, then Cliff Cook. It's high, ball 4. So Ashburn gets first base free. The first man walked and brings up Joe Christopher. Richie batting .311 for the year, now at first base. Joe Christopher steps in. He's hitting .133. Right-handed batter. Moeller into the stretch, a check at first base, and his first pitch, a called strike. AAA competition last year at Spokane in the Pacific Coast League, won 3 and lost 5. That was his only losing effort last year as he pitched for 3 clubs. Next pitch hit sharply to Wills at short. A chance for 2 over to the second base in time. The first is down, a double play. Ball was hit well by Joe Christopher, but won it Maury Wills, and if you're scoring, it went 6 to 4 to 3. Wills to Burr, right to Fairley, and the batter now is Cliff Cook. Cliff playing at third base, a right-handed batter, batting .229. Cook acquired from Cincinnati last year, the most valuable player in the American Association, the AAA League. First pitch to him by Moeller, a fastball on the outside corner, strike one call. Now the right-hander back to the plate, and it's a curve that's outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The on-deck batter, Frank Thomas. 2 outs in the top of the first, no score. Moeller to Cliff Cook, a swing and a foul. Out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moeller has won 1 and lost 2 here at Dodger Stadium. The one he lost was 1-0 to Pittsburgh. Moeller, the youngest player in the major leagues. And the next pitch to Cook, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Moeller picks up his first strikeout. And that retires the side, and the Mets are out in the top of the first, and the Dodgers are coming in the bottom half of the first. No score in the ball game. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I run this dude ranch away out west, and when it comes to horses, we sure own the best. Now, one of our guests was a gal from the east. To say she was something was to say the least. One day we were out on the trail, and I said, "Have a cigarette, ma'am," and she shook her head.
No, thanks. I can't stand the unfiltered kind. And even some filters are too strong, I find.
She said, "Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right."
That's right.
That's right. Well, listen, partner, I've changed my brand, and that gal is my wife and owns half of my land.
That's right.
So now I know, and I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong,
Some too light.
but Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a no-score game as the Dodgers come to bat in their half of the first inning. Then the leadoff man will be Maury Wills. Maury leads the National League in stolen bases. He's stolen 19 in 21 attempts. He was thrown out last night for the first time in 18 attempts. He's batting .227, a right-handed batter against the left-hander. First time he's appeared on the right-hand side of the plate in this series. He's a switch hitter. Al Jackson with the first pitch and attempted a bunt. It's fouled away. Strike 1. Maury batting .227 for the year. Al is making his 8th start and 10th appearance for the year. He has 2 complete games to his credit. One of them, of course, a shutout, the first shutout by Ahmed Everett. Left-hander to the plate, and a ground ball hit in the hole. Chacon can't get to it. It goes into left field, a base hit. And Wells is on at first base for the first hit of the game. That will bring up Jim Gilliam. Gilliam batting .278. He's a right-handed batter against the left-hander. Also a switch hitter like Maury Wills. Well, Jackson has a good move, so we'll see how he does with Maury Wills. There's the first throw over to first base. That one's a lob one, just setting up the rest. Wills with a good lead. Jackson looking there. Now comes to the plate. The runner goes. The pitch is hit in the air to right field. Joe Christopher has plenty of room, moves over near the line, and makes the catch. Wills coming back into first base. 1 man out on the batter now, Willie Davis. Davis batting .336 is tied for the 3rd position in the National League batting race. He trails Bill Williams of the Cubs, who's hitting .350, and Dick Grote, who's hitting .346. Then he's tied for 3rd with Vincent. Jackson's first pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one. Curveball swung on by Willie Davis, a center fielder. One of the newspapers here in the Los Angeles area, quoting manager Walt Alston, that he likes this type of club. No power, but plenty of speed. Lob throw to first. They have speed to burn. Maury Wells at first base. Willie Davis right here can fly. Tommy Davis in the on-deck circle can really run. There goes the runner, a big jump, a bunt, it goes foul. So Maury Wells, who would have stolen second base, has to return as Davis bunts the ball. Ball going foul, strike two. That time Davis was off and running. Correction, Wells was off and running. Had a tremendous jump. There goes Wells, another big jump, and the swing and the ball's missed. Landers now picks it up, and running to first base is Davis. But he is out because of the runner being on first base, and only one out on the occasion. And moving down to second base, Maury Wells. That's the first strikeout by Al Jackson. And now the Dodgers with a runner at second and two men out, and the batter is Tommy Davis. Stolen base for Maury Wells. The pitch was dropped by Hobie Landreth. The pitch was down and away, and Hobie had to move away, and the pitch got away from him. And here is Tommy Davis batting .302. Al Jackson into the stretch, takes a look at the runner at second base, comes to the plate, a curveball, slow one, hit it to right center. Moving over there is Joe Christopher. He can't get through it. He'll go for extra bases. And scoring from second base, Maury Wells. There goes Davis for third. The relay throw does not come off as Chacon decides to run it in. And the Dodgers lead 1-0. Base hit for Tommy Davis. That ball was hit right in the hole and well hit. And it came off of the wall at the 390 mark. And here is Frank Howard. Howard, a right-handed batter, playing in right field, batting .290. He's had 5 hits and 8 appearances against the Mets in this series. And Al Jackson with his first pitch outside, ball one. First run of the ball game in on 2 hits. One by Wells and the triple by Tommy Davis. Left-hander back with a curve inside, ball 2. Last night, after Gilliam had led off with a walk, he was sacrificed to second base. And with Ron Fairley due up, a left-hander against a right-handed pitcher, Casey Stengel decided to walk Fairley and pitch to Howard, and Howard spoiled the strategy by singling. Slow pitch hit down to third base. Hopper over to first base in time, and that retires the side. In the inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers, 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 man left. And the score at the end of 1. The Dodgers won the New York Mets 0. You know, National League fans in New York will be pleased to see so many old favorites back at the Polo Grounds when the Old Timers game is played there on Saturday, July 14th. Members of the Giants and Dodger teams who participated in the historic 1951 playoff series for the National League pennant have been invited back. A 2-inning game will be played between the ex-Brooklyn Dodgers and the ex-New York Giants, and it will precede the regularly scheduled game between the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So there's your chance to see some of your old favorites. Of course, it'll be Leo DeRocher there. He was the manager in that ball game. And I'll never forget the time when Thompson hit the run, how everybody swarmed all over him, and Bobby Thompson will be there along with Ralph Barranca. Should be a gala occasion. That's July 14th, the Old Timers game. Members who participated in the historic 1951 playoff series for the National League pennant.
This is Ken Coleman speaking. We present for you another game from the Miley Collection. We hope that you enjoy.
Ball manager Casey Stengel out talking over the grounds rules here at Dodger Stadium. A good crowd on hand on a fine night here in Los Angeles. The day started out somewhat cloudy with a threat of rain, but the sunshine broke through in the afternoon, and we now have just about a perfect night for baseball. Let's check the starting lineups for the game tonight. For the New York Mets, Richie Ashburn will play in center field and lead off. Batting second in right field, Joe Christopher. Batting in the third position, playing third base, Cliff Cook. The fourth batter will be Frank Thomas. He'll be in left field. Batting fifth and playing first base, Marv Throneberry. Batting in the sixth position and playing second base, Charlie Neal. Batting seventh in the shortstop position, Elio Chacon. Batting in the eighth position and doing the catching, Hobie Landreth. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher for the New York Mets, a left-hander, Al Jackson. For the second place Los Angeles Dodgers, Maury Wills will lead off and play shortstop. Batting second, playing third base, Jim Gilliam. In the third position in the batting order and playing center field, Willie Davis. In the cleanup spot, Tommy Davis. He'll be in left field. Batting fifth, playing right field, Frank Howard. The sixth batter will be Ron Fairley at first base. Batting seventh, playing second base, Larry Burwright. The eighth man will be the catcher, Norm Sherry. And on the mound, a young rookie right-hander, Joe Moeller. The Dodgers have won 12 of their last 16 games to move within 1.5 games of the league-leading Giants. They have won their last 4 games, which equals their longest winning streak of this season. And, of course, the Giants playing tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies up in San Francisco. Well, the umpires for today's game waiting out on the field for the Los Angeles Dodgers to take the field. It'll be Ed Vargo behind home plate. At first base, Doug Harvey. The second base umpire will be Al Barlick. And at third base, Shag Crawford. Well, right now, the big right-hander for the Dodgers completing his warm-up pitches on the mound, and stepping in as the leadoff man will be Richie Ashburn. Moeller is 19 years old, and he's had only 1 year of professional experience. It was spent with 3 clubs. He started out in Class C, moved to Class A, and finished up in AAA. In all 3 leagues, he had a 20-9 record, and he pitched a total of 237 innings, striking out 295. And the first pitch to Richie Ashburn is high, ball 1. Joe Moore averaged 11 2/3 strikeouts per 9-inning game in the minor leagues last year, and he pitched 7 shutouts. He's a big fellow, right-hander. Next pitch to Ashburn is a called strike in the letter. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Norm Sherry behind the plate doing the catching for the Dodgers. At first base, Ron Fairley. At second base, Larry Burwright. At shortstop, Maury Wills. At third base, Jim Gilliam. Now the big right-hander into the windup, and the 1-1 pitch is a called strike to Jim Gilliam, who was playing very short on Ashburn, now moving back of the bag about 7 steps. Outfield shifted way over towards the left. In left field, it's Tommy Davis. In center field, Willie Davis. They're not related. In right field, Frank Howard. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First batter in the game. The 1-2 pitch is just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moeller was born in Chicago, Illinois, and he certainly has started out in fine shape in his 1 year professional ball. He shakes snow on the first sign from Sherry, now goes in the windup. The 2-2 pitch to Ashburn's high, ball 3. So Richie Ashburn going all the way down the line as he leads off in the ball game here at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Joe Christopher on deck, then Cliff Cook. It's high, ball 4. So Ashburn gets first base free. The first man walked and brings up Joe Christopher. Richie batting .311 for the year, now at first base. Joe Christopher steps in. He's hitting .133. Right-handed batter. Moeller into the stretch, a check at first base, and his first pitch a called strike. in AAA competition last year at Spokane in the Pacific Coast League, won 3 and lost 5. That was his only losing effort last year as he pitched for 3 clubs. Next pitch hit sharply to Wills at short. A chance for 2 over to the second base in time. The first in time, a double play. Ball was hit well by Joe Christopher, but one hit Maury Wills, and if you're scoring, it went 6-4 to 3. Wills to Burr, right to Fairley, and the batter now is Cliff Cook. Cliff playing at third base, a right-handed batter, batting .229. Cook acquired from Cincinnati last year, the most valuable player in the American Association, the AAA League. First pitch to him by Moeller, a fastball on the outside corner, strike one call. Now the right-hander back to the plate, and it's a curve that's outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The on-deck batter, Frank Thomas. 2 outs in the top of the first, no score. Moeller to Cliff Cook, a swing and a foul. Out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moeller has won 1 and lost 2 here at Dodger Stadium. The one he lost was 1-0 to Pittsburgh. Moeller, the youngest player in the major leagues. And the next pitch to Cook, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Moeller picks up his first strikeout. Now retires the side, and the Mets are out in the top of the first, and the Dodgers are coming in the bottom half of the first. No score in the ball game. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I run this dude ranch away out west, and when it comes to horses, we sure own the best. Now, one of our guests was a gal from the east. To say she was something was to say the least. One day we were out on the trail, and I said, "Have a cigarette, ma'am," and she shook her head.
No, thanks. I can't stand the unfiltered kind. And even some filters are too strong, I find.
She said, "Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right."
That's right.
That's right. Well, listen, partner, I've changed my brand, and that gal is my wife and owns half of my land.
That's right.
So now I know, and I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong,
Some too light.
but Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a no-score game as the Dodgers come to bat in their half of the first inning. Then the leadoff man will be Maury Wills. Maury leads the National League in stolen bases. He's stolen 19 in 21 attempts. He was thrown out last night for the first time in 18 attempts. He's batting .227, a right-handed batter against the left-hander. First time he's appeared on the right-hand side of the plate in this series. He's a switch hitter. Al Jackson with the first pitch and attempted a bunt. It's fouled away. Strike 1. Maury batting .227 for the year. Al is making his 8th start and 10th appearance for the year. He has 2 complete games to his credit. One of them, of course, a shutout, the first shutout by Ahmed Ever. Left-hander to the plate, and a ground ball hit in the hole. Chacon can't get to it. He goes into left field, a base hit. And Wills is on at first base for the first hit of the game. That will bring up Jim Gilliam. Gilliam batting .278. He's a right-handed batter against the left-hander. Also a switch hitter like Maury Wills. Well, Jackson has a good move, so we'll see how he does with Maury Wills. There's the first throw over to first base. That one's a lob one, just setting up the rest. Wills with a good lead. Jackson looking there. Now comes to the plate. The runner goes. The pitch is hit in the air to right field. Joe Christopher has plenty of room, moves over near the line and makes the catch. Wills coming back into first base. 1 man out on the batter now, Willie Davis. Davis batting .336 is tied for the 3rd position in the National League batting race. He trails Bill Williams of the Cubs, who's hitting .350, and Dick Grote, who's hitting .346. Then he's tied for 3rd with Vincent. Jackson's first pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one. Curveball swung on by Willie Davis, a center fielder. One of the newspapers here in the Los Angeles area, quoting manager Walt Alston, that he likes this type of club. No power, but plenty of speed. Lob throw to first. They have speed to burn. Maury Wells at first base. Willie Davis right here can fly. Tommy Davis in the on-deck circle can really run. There goes the runner, a big jump, a bunt that goes foul. So Maury Wells, who would have stolen second base, has to return as Davis bunts the ball. Ball going foul, strike two. That time Davis was off and running. Correction, Wells was off and running. Had a tremendous jump. There goes Wells, another big jump, and the swing and the ball's missed. Landers now picks it up, and running to first base is Davis. But he is out because of the runner being on first base, and only one out on the occasion. And moving down to second base, Maury Wells. That's the first strikeout by Al Jackson. And now the Dodgers with a runner at second and two men out, and the batter is Tommy Davis. Stolen base for Maury Wells. The pitch was dropped by Hobie Lander. The pitch was down and away, and Hobie had to move away, and the pitch got away from him. And here is Tommy Davis batting .302. Al Jackson into the stretch, takes a look at the runner at second base, comes to the plate, a curveball, slow one, hit it to right center. Moving over there is Joe Christopher. He can't get through it. He'll go for extra bases. And scoring from second base, Maury Wells. There goes Davis for third. The relay throw does not come off as Chacon decides to run it in. And the Dodgers lead 1-0. Base hit for Tommy Davis. That ball was hit right in the hole and well hit. And it came off of the wall at the .390 mark. And here is Frank Howard. Howard, a right-handed batter, playing in right field, batting .290. He's had 5 hits and 8 appearances against the Mets in this series. And Al Jackson with his first pitch outside, ball one. First run of the ball game in on 2 hits. One by Wells and a triple by Tommy Davis. Left-hander back with a curve inside, ball 2. Last night, after Gilliam had led off with a walk, he was sacrificed to second base. And with Ron Fairley due up, a left-hander against a right-handed pitcher, Casey Stengel decided to walk Fairley and pitch to Howard, and Howard spoiled the strategy by singling. Slow pitch hit down to third base. Hopper over to first base in time, and that retires the side. In the inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers, 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 man left. And the score at the end of 1. The Dodgers won the New York Mets 0. You know, National League fans in New York will be pleased to see so many old favorites back at the Polo Grounds when the Old Timers game is played there on Saturday, July 14th. Members of the Giants and Dodger teams who participated in the historic 1951 playoff series for the National League pennant have been invited back. A 2-inning game will be played between the ex-Brooklyn Dodgers and the ex-New York Giants, and it will precede the regularly scheduled game between the New York Mets and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So there's your chance to see some of your old favorites. Of course, it'll be Leo DeRocher there. He was the manager in that ball game. And I'll never forget the time when Thompson hit the run, how everybody swarmed all over him, and Bobby Thompson will be there along with Ralph Barranca. Should be a gala occasion. That's July 14th, the Old Timers game. Members who participated in the historic 1951 playoff series for the National League pennant. Well, we're moving to the top of the 3rd inning with the score of the ball game 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and leading off here for the New York Mets will be the pitcher Al Jackson. Al is looking for his first major league hit of the 1962 season, even though he is a good hitter. First pitch to Al Jackson is fouled away, strike 1. There was a pitcher that pitched for the Cincinnati Reds who broke into the major leagues at the age of 15. Youngest player to ever break into Major League Baseball. Remember his name? Pretty good hitter, too. Joe Nuxhall. One strike pitch to Jackson and attempted a bunt to beat it out, but foul back on the screen, strike 2. Yes, Joe was really a good pitcher in those days. He threw hard and came right out of high school. That's a pretty good jump. And, of course, Mel Ott, I think he broke into the major leagues at the age of 16. Next pitch to Jackson high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, what a career that Mel Ott had. Over 500 home runs. One of the all-time greats. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Al Jackson as Joe Moeller returns to the plate, and it's fouled back on the screen. Jackson, a good swing at that one. So the count of hold at 1-2. July 14th will be a big day for you fans to pick up some of your old-time favorites playing in that old-timers game. Brooklyn Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants players. A big swing and a miss as Jackson doesn't get it. Strike 3. So Moeller picks up his 4th strikeout of the ball game here in the top of the 3rd inning. And the batter's Richie Ashburn. Through the hole by the first baseman into right field for a base hit. That's hit number 2, and the ball gets by Howard. Ashburn going to second and going to third. Howard up with it, throws on in to Burright, and Ashburn holds at third base. That'll go as a base hit and an error on Frank Howard. That's the first error of the ball game, and Ashburn now at third base with 1 out to score 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and the batter is Joe Christopher. Joe hit into a hard double play in the first inning. Batting 125. Right-handed batter playing in right field tonight. Joe was recalled from Syracuse after having a good start down there. Mets sent John Demeritte to Syracuse outright today to make room for their new acquisition. First pitch to Christopher. Curveball, it's in the dirt. Sherry blocks it out to the right and holds Ashburn at third base. 1 ball, no strikes with 1 out. Bill Hunter, the new pitcher with the Mets. Nice looking young boy. One ball, no strikes as Joe Christopher looks down at Solly Hemus for the sign. Infield shortened up. They're playing just a little bit back of being in. They're about halfway, a very shallow halfway. They can make the play both ways. At least they hope to. Pitch to Christopher, hit off the end of the bat down the right side. Coming over Moeller. He can't make a play home. Throws the first in time, and the ball game is tied up as Richie Ashburn scores from third base. That ball was hit right off the end of the bat, dribbled out towards the right side of the plate. Moeller had to come over and make a good play to get Christopher at first base. So it's a 1-1 game now. 2 men are out, and the batter is Cliff Cook. Cliff struck out swinging in the first inning. He's batting .222, a right-handed batter. And the first pitch to him is way high, ball 1. Sherry hauling it down. Dodgers scored for the first time in the first inning. They have not scored since. Mets scored in the top of the third. Hits all even at 2 apiece. 1-0 pitch to Cook, hit deep to center field. Davis has to go back. He is there, turns and makes the catch. And that retires the side. In the inning for the Mets, they score 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error. No one left in the score. At the end of 2 1/2 innings of play, the New York Mets won. The Los Angeles Dodgers won. Well, it's a 1-1 game, and once again, the Mets are all tied up in a tight one with the Los Angeles Dodgers. They were tied all the way down the line in the first 2 through 7 innings, and then lost it in the 8th, and right now it's tied at 1-1 as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. And the first batter will be Joe Moeller against Al Jackson. Jackson, through 2 innings, has given up 2 hits and 1 run. Big hit was Tommy Davis's triple, which scored Maury Wills from second base. So Al Jackson with his first pitch to his opposing pitcher, a slow curve that drops in for strike 1. Moeller batting 0-77. Well, after the Cardinals had picked up 1 in the 7th inning, there's a pitch that loops over the shortstop's head. In the left field, a base hit. Just dropping in over Chacon's head, and Thomas came in. He couldn't get to it. Moeller has a base hit, and that's hit number 3. And the batter, Maury Wills. Maury, a right-handed batter, squares around a bunt and gets flipped right on his back by a fastball under the chin. Ball 1. Maury had a base hit in the first inning and scored the only run of the game for the Dodgers. He's batting .231. Pitch to Wills, bounce down to the shortstop, Chacon. He moves to his right, makes the play at second, in time to first, not in time. So they pick up the lead man for out number 1. Wills is at first base, and while we have a second here, we pause for station identification.
At the 810 spot on your radio dial, this is WGY Schenectady.
First station for music and sports, temperature 71.
Rob Kiner along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The score 1-1. Maury Wills at first base, 1 out on the batter, Jim Gilliam. Well, Al Jackson now with a fast man at first comes to the plate on a pitch out. Ball 1. Wills did not go. In the first inning, Wills stole second base with no throw. On the pitch, Willie Davis struck out, and the ball was down low, and it got away from the catcher. Wills with a big lead. Jackson looking there. Does not go there. Wills goes. The throw is down in the dirt in center field, but backed up by Chacon. So Maury Wills picks up stolen base number 21. Obie Landers with the throw in the dirt. He got by Charlie Neal, who was covering, but Chacon flagged it down back in the grass in shallow center field, and Wills could not go. Two balls and no strikes. Jackson back to the plate to Jim Gilliam. Low, ball 3. So now Gilliam looking at DeRocher for the hitter-take sign. As the Dodgers threaten to break the tie at 1-1 with a runner at second base. The 3-0 pitch to Gilliam, taken outside, ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Al Jackson. And it puts runners at first and second base, and Marv Throneberry comes in to talk it over with Jackson on the mound. That brings up Willie Davis, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He was out swinging in the first inning, batting .333. He started the ball game in a tie for third place in the National League batting race. There's a throw to second base. Chacon coming over and back of the runner, but Will slides in safely. Bob Moria throwing in the bullpen now for the New York Mets. Chacon arguing with Al Wallach. Looks as though he's thrown him out of the game. Bartek giving a sign to go back to the dugout, and evidently he might be thrown out of the ball game. Either that or he means get away. Well, Ciccone doesn't speak much English, and I don't believe Al Bartek speaks much Spanish, so I'd like to hear that conversation. Here is Ciccone still arguing with Al Bartek, and Bartek saying, I'm not sure whether he understands him or not. Go to the dugout, and here comes Casey Stengel. And warming up in the dugout, it's that big as Felix Mantilla. There are very few dugouts in baseball where you can warm up right inside of it. This is quite a ballpark. There are 6 tiers, and actually, the first one starts right at ground level, right at dugout level. And the highest one up pretty high. It's a beautiful ballpark. Now Felix Mantilla is coming out of the dugout after warming up and going out to the shortstop position. Well, Ciccone has become the second Met to be tossed out of a ball game in their history. The first one, a coach, Solly Hemus.
Now playing shortstop for New York, number 18, Felix Mantilla.
Jackson back to Davis. Little first single in the right field. Picked up by Christopher in the first half. A run will score. The throw comes over towards third base, and the Dodgers go out in front 2-1 as Maury Wills scores the second run of the game for L.A. Now the batter is Tommy Davis. Willie Davis on that pitch just stuck the bat out, sort of a halfway check swing, and hit a semi-line drive to right field. Christopher had no chance to make the throw home on Maury Wills, a very fast man. He took the option and held Gilliam at second base. And the Dodgers now with runners at first and second as Tommy Davis takes the first pitch low for ball 1. So it's been the Davis boys and the Wills boy combined for the 2 runs for the Dodgers. They lead now 2-1. Pitch line right through the middle in the center field. Here comes Gilliam around third to score. Coming from first base, Willie Davis, and holding at third. So Tommy Davis picks up his second run, batted in the evening. And the Dodgers now have added to the score. It's a 3-1 game, and that brings out Casey Stengel. There's the sign, and that'll be all for Al Jackson. Bob Moorhead, a right-hander in the ball game, and he'll be pitching to Frank Howard as his first man. Moorhead will be making his 11th appearance of the year. He has started 2 ball games. He's worked 30 1/3 innings, giving up 30 hits, allowing 21 runs. And he has a record of 1 win and 2 losses. And here is Frank Howard. He grounded out to third. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game, batting with runners at first and third and 1 out. Howard batting .286, and the infield playing back for the double play. First pitch by Moorhead, a curveball outside, ball 1. Moorhead, his last time out, relieved Jackson. That was in Milwaukee. Next pitch to Howard, popped up in the infield. Charlie Neal moving back at second base over into the shortstop area, makes the catch, and holding at third base, Willie Davis. So Howard is out for out number 2, and Moorhead gets his first man, and the batter now is Ron Fairley. Fairley flied out to center field in his only try tonight. He's batting .262, a left-hander. Hobie Landerthout now talking to Moorhead on the mound. At first base, Tommy Davis. At third base, Willie Davis. 2 out. The score is 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. They scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the third. Moorhead goes into his set position, then backs off the mound, looking over at Davis. Now, Tommy Davis draws the throw there, but he's back safely. Next pitch is lined in the left field, a base hit by Ron Fairley. It might go through. It does for extra bases. Scoring from third base, Willie Davis, and here comes Tommy Davis all the way around from first. Holding up at second base is Ron Fairley. That makes it a 5-1 game in favor of the Los Angeles Dodgers. All 5 runs are charged to Al Jackson, the starting pitcher. And the batter coming in now is Larry Burright. Burright 0 for 1. He struck out in the second. Right-handed batter. Out at second base, Ron Fairley with a stand-up double to left center field. First pitch to Burright by Bob Moorhead is low. A curveball, ball 1. Burright batting .329. One game. Dodgers lead it. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Next pitch to Burright is low outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ball 3 as Moorhead misses again outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Burright stepping out of the box looks for the sign from the third base coach, Leo DeRocher. Now back in as Moorhead looks for his sign from his catcher, Hobie Landry. The 3-0 pitch to Burright is taken high, ball 4. So Burright gets the first walk issued by Moorhead. That's number 2 in the ball game, picked up by the Dodgers. And the batter is now Norm Sherry. Runners at first and second and 2 men out. Sherry now the 9th batter to bat here in the third inning. Dodgers with 5 runs and only 6 hits. Mets have 1 run on 2. Sherry grounded out to second. He is 0 for 1, batting .182 for the year. There's a line drive into center field. This will score Fairley from second base. Coming around for first base is Burright. He's going to try. Here comes the throw. It is not in time, and Burright scores from first, and holding at second base is Norm Sherry. It's a 7-1 game in favor of the Dodgers. The Dodgers have now batted around, and here comes Joe Moeller. Joe started it all off with a blue base hit over the shortstop's head into left field. He is a right-handed batter. Dodgers with 6 runs here in the bottom of the third inning lead the ball game 7-1. And the first pitch to the pitcher is hit out to right field. Coming across is Aspern, but Christopher will take it. He is there, and he makes the catch, and that retires his side. So in the inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers, they scored 6 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors. 1 man was left in the score at the end of 3 innings of play. The Los Angeles Dodgers 7 runs on 7 hits. The New York Mets have 1 run on 2. Well, we're moving to the top of the 4th inning, and it's certainly a great pleasure to introduce a fellow who is now 1 year older today, a fellow who has now reached the wonderful age of 39, Lindsey Nelson.
Thanks very much, Ralph Kiner. Be a good age to stay with, I think, wouldn't it?
Well, that Jack Benny has made a living with it for years, hasn't he?
All right, going to the top half of the 4th inning, Frank Thomas is going to be up to lead off. He'll be followed by Marv Thornberry and Charlie Neal. Joe Mueller pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers. As the Dodgers have scored 6 big runs in the bottom half of the third inning to take a 7-1 lead here at Dodger Stadium. Moeller is getting a sign from Norm Sherry, dips into the windup, and here's the pitch. Swung on and has a drive going out into right center field, and this one is dropping in for a base hit in between them, and Thomas is on his way to second. He's going on to third base. There's a throw to third, and Thomas slides in safely. Frank Howard in right field made the long run and tried a shoestring stab, but could not haul it down. As a result, it went past him, and Willie Davis had come over. Could not get to it. It went in between them, and it goes for a triple. Frank Thomas with his second hit of the night has now hit safely in his last 14 games. Marv Thornberry is up now, the first baseman. He has been up one time, and he struck out. Thornberry arrived in Los Angeles yesterday afternoon from Johns Hopkins, where he had been for the examination of a knee condition. The doctors at Johns Hopkins found that it was not chronic, and so he's in the lineup tonight. Pitch is in there for a called strike to Marv Thornberry. Night before last was Casey Stengel night here, the opening game of this series at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers won the ballgame by a score of 3-1. The next morning, one of the Los Angeles papers carrying the box score had a headline over it, a sorry case. Here's the pitch. Here's a swing and a drive, and it's pulled down by Moeller. Right back through there, and he is out, but Moeller used his full 6 feet 4 inches to go up and pull that one down, and he's getting a hand from the crowd here. Thomas holding at third. Thornberry slamming it right back through the box, and Moeller going up used his height to good advantage as he pulled it down. With one away now and a runner at third, Charlie Neal is coming up. Came up initially to the Brooklyn Dodgers. Pitches outside for a ball to Neal. This is the concluding game of the 3-game set here in Los Angeles. Moeller works for the windup with Thomas leading at third base. Swung on and has a fly ball into short left field. Shortstop Maury Wills has gone out, but Tommy Davis waves him off and makes the catch. Frank Thomas tags up and draws the throw, then goes back to the bag at third as Tommy Davis cuts it loose all the way into Norm Sherry. So 2 men out now, as he was taken by Tommy Davis in extremely short left field. And Felix Mantilla is coming up. Mantilla is up for his first time in the ballgame. Thomas opened the inning with the triple, but Thornberry and Neal have been unable to bring him on. Joe Moeller, so far tonight, he's struck out 4 and walked 2. He had a tremendous strikeout record in the minor leagues wherever he went. The Dodgers couldn't really figure where to start him out in the minors, but wherever he went, he had a great strikeout pitch. In case you have joined us in the last few minutes, Mantilla did not start the ballgame for the New York Mets, but was inserted at shortstop when umpire Al Barley ejected shortstop Elio Chacon from the ballgame for protesting a decision there at second base on an attempted pickoff play. Here's a swing and a drive going through the hole into left field for a base hit. Frank Thomas comes on to score. Up with it in left is Davis, relaying it into second base. Turning and holding in first is Mantilla. And now, while we have a moment, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
At the 810 spot on your radio dial, this is WGY Schenectady.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy in Los Angeles, California, where the Mets have just scored their second run of the evening. And Mantilla is on at first. He had a single and a run batted in. And at the plate, left-hand batter Hobie Landreth. Been up one time and he struck out. Here's a swing and a foul ball coming back. Norm Sherry makes the run, but he has no play. Boy in the stands has no play also. That's Steve Muffitt coming back. Well, actually hit on the plastic area, which protects the fans in the dugout boxes. It's a strike one count to Landreth. Here's Moeller's pitch going high to Hobie Landreth. 1 ball and 1 strike. Score is 7-2 now. The Dodgers 7, Mets 2. Ron Farley at first base is not trying to hold the runner as Mantilla takes his lead, and the pitch catches an outside corner on Hobie Landreth. It's 1-2. Although it's into a stretch position as Mantilla leads, Farley retreats at first base, and here's the pitch coming high to Hobie Landreth. It's 2-2. Executive Vice President and General Manager Leslie Bavesi was pointing out before the ball game and showing us around the stadium that this is the first stadium constructed with private capital in this country since Yankee Stadium in 1923. And it is magnificent. Here's a pitch inside to Hobie Landreth, and the count is out full now. So with 2 men out, Felix Mantilla will be running at first. Off with the pitch. Mantilla takes a good lead. Fairly holds him on this time. He's running, and the pitch is low. Ball 4. He walked him. So Hobie Landreth goes on to first. As Felix Mantilla moves to second. That is the third walk. Given up. And Ed Boucher has come out of the dugout as Bob Moorhead is due up. Ken McKenzie has been throwing in the bullpen, and Boucher is going to bat. 5 runs behind, of course. Manager Casey Stengel has to go with offense wherever possible now to try to get back into the ball game. So he is sending up Boucher with 2 men on here to bat for the pitcher. Joe Mueller up and into the stretch. Runners leading at first and second. Here's the pitch. Swung on and has a fly ball into left field. Tommy Davis coming in. He is called for it. He's underneath and waiting, and Tommy Davis makes the catch for the out. So Boucher, batting for Bob Moorhead, is slide to left, and in the top half of the 4th inning, the New York Mets got 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 men left. So at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play in Los Angeles, California, the score is the Los Angeles Dodgers 7 and the New York Mets 2. Coming up now, jazz, smooth, suave, and sweet. Listen.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer.
It's not bitter.
Not sweet, it's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer? Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Like the song says, people everywhere sing out, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. And dry tells you why. Yes, sir, dry tells you Rheingold has a brisk, bright, clean taste all its own. Discover the difference dry makes. Pour yourself a tall, refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Enjoy it along with the ball game. Ken McKenzie is now pitching for the New York Mets. Left-hander Ken McKenzie. In relief of Bob Moorhead, who was removed for the pinch hitter. And McKenzie will be facing the top of the batting order for the Dodgers in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Maury Wills, Jim Gilliam, and Willie Davis. You know, some of the New York Mets, such as Gil Hodges, Hobie Landreth, and Charlie Neal, are old friends to New York fans. Others, such as Al Jackson and Jim Hickman, are newcomers, of course. Well, to get caught up with all of them, their past histories and their records, why don't you get a copy of the brand new Met Yearbook? It's on sale at the Polo Grounds during all Met home games, and if you wish to order by mail, simply send 50 cents to Mets Yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. Ken McKenzie has completed his warm-ups, and Maury Wills, a switch hitter who now is batting right-handed against lefty Ken McKenzie, steps into the batter's box. Wills has 1 for 2 tonight, stolen 2 bases, and has scored twice. At third base, Cliff Cook is even with the bag against the speed of Maury Wills. Here's the first pitch. Here's a drive from right to center field for a base hit. Richie Ashburn up with it. Relays it back in. That one smacked on the button and up the middle. The second hit of the evening for Maury Maury Wills. And Jim Gilliam is coming up. He is also a switch hitter. In Houston, the Pittsburgh Pirates got 2 runs in the top half of the 8th inning, and it's now the Pirates 3 and the Houston Colt 45s 3 as they go to the bottom of the 8th. Incidentally, the Colt 45s brought Dick Farrell in relief of Bob Bruce in the 8th inning, showing you how much they wanted to win this one. They were leading 3-1 going into the 8th inning. The Colt 45s were. The moment that Maury Wills gets on base, the cry goes up in the crowd here, go, go. Of course, all baseball fans like to see speedy men go on the bases. It's one of the exciting phases of baseball. He's running at first base. Here's a fly ball to right. Coming over near the line is Joe Christopher. Christopher makes the catch, and Maury Wills comes back to the bag at first. Wills was off and running on the pitch, but Jim Gilliam has flied to right. Trying to hit behind him on a hit and run. It's the second time tonight Gilliam has flied to right in those circumstances. One away, and Willie Davis coming up. Stopped a single out into center field to drive and a run in the 3rd inning, and later scored himself. He struck out in the 1st inning. He's running at first, the throw through to second base. Mancia takes it. He's out at second base, and Hobie Landreth has thrown Maury Wills out, trying to steal. That is only the 3rd time this season that Maury Wills has been thrown out. As this series started between these two teams, Maury Wills had stolen 18 consecutive bases without being thrown out. Harry Cheedy threw Wills out last night, and Hobie Landreth, with a perfect peg now, has thrown him out stealing as the ball was taken on by shortstop Felix Mantilla. 2-6 if you're scoring. 2 away, nobody on, and a strike 1 count to Willie Davis at the plate. Here's a ground ball punch to Mantilla at short. Sidearms it over to first, just in time to get Willie Davis by a half step. Davis flies down that line. And so in the bottom half of the 4th inning, the Los Angeles Dodgers are out with no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. And so at the end of 4 full innings of play in Los Angeles, California, the score is the Los Angeles Dodgers 7 and the New York Mets 2. We're going now to the top half of the 5th inning. And the New York Mets send up Richie Ashburn, who has walked and singled. He pulled a ground single in the right field between 1st and 2nd in the 3rd inning. Ashburn needs only 1 more base hit to tie Joe Medwick in the number of career hits. Medwick had 2,471. Ashburn now has 2,470. Joe Muller winds and fires outside for a ball to Richie Ashburn. Ashburn has literally played himself right back into the lineup of this club. Here's a pitch outside for ball. It's 2-0. He was so effective as a pinch hitter that manager Casey Stengel has put him back in the lineup. That pitch is in there for a call strike to Ashburn. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Misses low, and it's ball 3 now to Richie Ashburn. This fella has made a career of getting on base and is tough up there at the plate with that bat. Augie Donatelli, a National League umpire, was saying that in any game Ashburn plays in, you need a few more baseballs because any situation he may foul off a dozen or so up there for you. Here's a 3-1 pitch. He takes it outside for ball 4, and Ashburn is on base again. He has drawn a walk. That is walk number 4 given up by Joe Muller. And brings up Joe Christopher. Christopher has hit into a double play. Grounded out pitcher to first, but drove in a run in the 3rd inning in so doing. Pitch is in there for a call, strike 1 to Joe Christopher. Manager Casey Stengel juggling his batting order a little bit tonight. He juggles it almost every night, of course. Casey Stengel, throughout his managerial career, has been a man who did not mind changing things up from day to day. He does not like to go with any sort of a set lineup or set batting order. Here's a ground ball going to shortstop. Maury Wills has it over to Burright. He's out at second. The relay to first, double play. Christopher, for the second time tonight, is hit into a double play. From Wills to Burright to Fairley. Short to second to first. 2 men out, nobody on for the Mets. And Cliff Cook is coming up. Struck out and flied to center. Cliff Cook is cast a great deal in the mold of Harmon Killebrew when he came to the major leagues. Cook is strong, capable of hitting for tremendous distances. Takes a good, healthy cut at the ball. There's a swing and a tip back into the big glove of Norm Cherry, and that's why Manager Casey Stengel bats him up there, number 3 in the batting order. He is capable of riding the baseball. In AAA baseball last year, he had 32 home runs and was the most valuable player in the American Association. Watches that one high. It's ball 1, 1-1. And waiting around in the on-deck circle is Frank Thomas, who has been going at a great clip of late. In fact, for the season, as far as that's concerned. Pitch to Cliff Cook, goes high for a ball. 2-1. Sally Amos coaching at third for the New York Mets, and Cookie Lavagetta around at first. Here's a drive going deep to left field. Tommy Davis is going back, but this one is going into the left field stand for a home run. For Cliff Cook right out over the 380 sign and into the left field bleachers. So Cliff Cook comes on around, gets a handshake from Sally Amos. A handshake from Thomas at the plate. So Cliff Cook has scored the third run of the evening for the New York Mets, and it is the Dodgers 7 and the Mets 3, with 2 men out and nobody on, and Frank Thomas coming up. That is the first homer this season for Cliff Cook, and his first homer, of course, for the New York Mets. He came to the Mets from Cincinnati, from the Reds, and this is his first homer of this season. Thomas tees off on one down the left field line, but it's pulling foul. Going deep into the lower stands, but pulled foul. During the course of a season, Frank Thomas will hit a great many just like that. Stands right up there on that plate. He is a definite pull hitter, and he can ride the baseball. Many times, of course, hits it out in front and pulls it around foul. Pitch goes high for a ball. But with men like Cliff Cook and Frank Thomas in the lineup, New York Mets are sure of presenting plenty of exciting baseball throughout the season, because either of these men is capable of riding it at any time. This one is popped up. Up over the plate, Norm Cherry, the catcher, gets rid of the mask, chases it back in foul territory, and makes the catch. That is the out that retires the side as Thomas fouls out to the catcher. And in the top half of the 5th inning, the New York Mets get 1 run on 1 hit, the homer by Cliff Cook. No errors and nobody left. So at the end of 4 1/2 innings of play in Los Angeles, California, the score is Los Angeles Dodgers 7 and the New York Mets 2. Check it, 3. What is the one thing most people associate with baseball? Well, I'll bet if you ask, the answer you'd most often hear is an ice-cold glass of beer. And if those people happen to be New Yorkers, well, then that beer's just got to be Rheingold, New York's favorite. And what accounts for this popularity? 2 words tell you: extra dry. You see, dry beers are lighter, more naturally refreshing. They let more flavor through to you. And Rheingold is the extra dry beer. Extra dry to be extra refreshing. And after all, isn't that what you want in your beer? Sure it is, so why wait? Order up or pour yourself a glass of refreshing Rheingold and enjoy it along with the game. You'll join the millions of people everywhere who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. It's beer as beer should taste. We'll be going now to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the Los Angeles Dodgers will send up Tommy Davis, Frank Howard, and Ron Fairley. The Dodgers, of course, for the past several seasons have been picked by most of the experts to win the pennant in the National League. Since 1959, they have not been able to do it. And again, this season, they were the consensus choice. The Dodgers have picked on their pitching and on their speed and on their defense and on their depth, their bench. And this year, starting tonight's play, they were just a game and a half out of first place. Here's the pitch to Tommy Davis. It's in there for a call, strike one. There is great optimism among the Los Angeles fans and among the Los Angeles writers of the chances of this team to win the National League pennant. Pitch goes high for a ball. Last year, just about August 1st, the Dodgers went into first place on a Sunday afternoon, and a great many observers thought they would be there to stay the rest of the season. However, it was shortly thereafter that they lost 10 straight games and dropped right out of the race. Here is a ground ball taken by Charlie Neal on the edge of the outfield grass. He throws over Thornberry in time, and he's out. Tommy Davis with a hard smash, but Charlie Neal was playing him over near the bag and took it on the edge of the outfield grass. The first time they've been able to get Tommy Davis out tonight. One away, and Frank Howard coming up. He is nothing for two tonight. But two previous nights, he's been wheeling a hot stick in this series. Huge fellow. He watches outside for a ball. 6 feet 7 inches tall, 250-pounder. Ken McKenzie with the pitch, going outside for a ball. It's 2-0. This spring, the Los Angeles Dodgers had Pete Reiser working a great deal with Frank Howard. Pete Reiser, the batting coach of the Dodgers, worked a great deal with Frank Howard. Pitch is in there for a call strike, cut on outside corner. Howard had a great tendency to lunge at pitches, bad pitches, to actually lean up somewhat off balance, and this is what they were trying to work on. Because there's no doubt about it, if he swings that bat and connects, he has tremendous power, tremendous capability. Here's McKenzie's 2-1 pitch, a let-up pitch, swung on and missed. Strike two. He had him way out in front that time, and you hear the reaction of the crowd. As Frank Howard got way out in front of that one, took a tremendous cut, nowhere close to it. It's 2-2. In Vero Beach, the day that the New York Mets moved in to play the Dodgers in spring training this year, Pete Reiser had told Howard for the first time in that particular day to take a flat-footed stance like Gus Zernial used to do. No stride at all, just hit flat-footed so that he couldn't move. His pitch comes just inside, just missing, and it's 3-2 now to Frank Howard. It's the Dodgers 7 and the New York Mets 3 here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The bottom half of the 5th inning. That's a let-up pitch that hits in the dirt, and it's ball 4, and Frank Howard goes down to first with a walk from Ken McKenzie. The first one McKenzie's given up. Jackson walk 1 and Moorhead walk 1. And coming up will be Ron Fairley. Last night against the right-hand pitcher, manager Walter Austin of the Los Angeles Dodgers had Fairley batting 5th and Howard batting 6th. And tonight against lefty Al Jackson, who started, he switched him around, put Howard up there batting number 5. There is one away here. Here's a ground ball. It's off McKenzie and is knocked down by Neal, but on at first base is Fairley as Howard moved to second. It was a hard smash right back through the box. It scored as a base hit. As the ball was deflected just slightly by McKenzie, and Charlie Neal then managed to get over behind the bag and knock it down. It was slowed up a little by McKenzie to allow Neal to knock it down, keep it from going through, and that held Howard at second. That brings up Larry Burright, second baseman. I have him batting number 7 in the batting order tonight. He is nothing for 1. He struck out 1 time and walked once. He has scored 1 run. Ken McKenzie is taking his time now, looking around, massaging the baseball, goes to the rosin bag. Burright standing outside the batter's box. Action will resume here any moment. With 1 man out, Frank Howard at second, Ron Fairley at first. The Dodgers 7 and the Mets 3. Again, Ken McKenzie goes to the rosin bag. Burright's a right-hand batter. Now, as McKenzie indicated, he was ready. Burright steps out of the batter's box, and now Ed Vargo, the umpire, steps out in front of the plate as McKenzie fired in to Hobie Landreth, and he fires it back out to him, and he's trying to see if he was in any manner disabled by deflecting that ball a moment ago, so he took a couple of practice pitches there. Apparently hit that one back through the box. Apparently it nicked McKenzie a little more than we thought, so he wasn't at all sure that he was able to throw properly, so he asked Vargo to allow him to throw a couple, and he did. Now we're all set. Right-hand batter Larry Burright steps back in there. Pitch to Burright. Swung on as the pass went deep to left field. Frank Thomas is going on back. He's in the warning track, and Thomas cannot hold on to it. It's rolling away from him. Frank Howard is coming on to score. Farley moves into third base, and Burright pulls up at second. It scored as a base hit. Frank Thomas did get to it, had his hands on it, but could not hang on. He was near the wall at the 380 mark, and it scored as a double. 1 run in on the play for the Los Angeles Dodgers as they lead by a score of 8-3. And Norm Sherry is coming up. He had a 2-run double in the bottom half of the third. He grounded out second to first in the second inning. There's 1 man out now, and runners at second and third for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers came here to Los Angeles, of course, after the 1957 season. Finished 7th in 1958, and then won the pennant in 1959. Pitch goes high for a ball. Sherry is a right-hand batter, sturdily built. Facing left-hand to Ken McKenzie. That pitch is sliced on the right field line, but it's a foul ball. 1-1 to Norm Sherry. The dugouts are extremely spacious here at Dodger Stadium. There's room to conduct all sorts of activity, and manager Casey Stengel right now is pacing up and down. But there's plenty of room. There's plenty of depth in those dugouts as well. Only one step down into the dugout. It's a long step. But then back to the bench, it must be 8 feet. Here's a pitch outside for a ball. 2-1 to Norm Sherry. And then between the dugouts, extending all around behind home plate in the crescent, are box seats. Same level as the dugouts. Here's a swing and a foul ball coming back. That is an idea that the Dodgers got from the stadiums in Japan. They call them dugout boxes. Two balls and 2 strikes to count to Norm Sherry. He watches high for ball 3. Ron Fairley is the base runner at third, and Larry Burright's the base runner at second. New York Mets are playing the infield back as the Dodgers lead them by a score 8-3, willing to give up the run for the putout. Here's a ground ball. It is back to McKenzie, and they have the runner hung up between third and home. It is Fairley who is being run back now, and he is tagged out. Fairley is tagged out. Moving on to third on the play is Larry Burright, and moving on down to second is Norm Sherry. 2 men out, as it was a ground ball right back to the mound, taken by Ken McKenzie. He turned as Fairley had come off far enough to be trapped between third and home. And so now, 2 men out. Joe Moeller, the pitcher, is coming up. Runners still at second and third. Sherry, of course, on simply on the fielder's choice. Burright moving on to third. Fairley simply trying to evade the tag long enough to allow Burright to move down there. Right-hand batter, Joe Moeller. Swings and misses. Strike 1. Moeller started off the big Dodger rally in the bottom half of the third inning with a bloop single out into left field. The Dodgers went on to get 6 runs on 5 hits in that inning. Mets have battled back, though. They have scored 2 runs since then. It is now 8-3. The Dodgers have 1 run in this inning. Cuts on the curveball and misses for strike 2. Dave Hillman is now throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Ken McKenzie looking in to get a sign. Has a slow curve cut on and fouled off, so Moeller stays alive. With a 2-strike count. We're right at third, Sherry at second. Leo DeRocher, the coach there at third base. McKenzie taking plenty of time to get a sign. Works with a windup. Pitch is swung out and punched out into right field. Could be trouble. Christopher over, and he makes the catch at the line. A running start by Joe Christopher as Moeller goes out to right field. And in the bottom half of the 5th inning, the Los Angeles Dodgers are out with 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. And at the end of 5 full innings of play in Los Angeles, the score is the Dodgers 8, the New York Mets 3. We'll be going to the top half of the 6th inning, and the New York Mets will be sending up Marv Thornberry, Charlie Neal, and Felix Mantilla. In case you have joined us along the way, Mantilla did not start the ball game, but replaced Elio Chacon when Chacon was ejected from the ball game by umpire Al Barlick at second base, and thus Chacon became the second Met in history to be ejected from a game, and the first Met player to be thrown out of a ball game. Sally Hemus was thrown out by umpire Jocko Conlon in Philadelphia, but Hemus, of course, is a coach. It will be interesting to find out sort of how the conversation ran between Elio Chacon and Al Barlick. Because Chacon does not speak a great deal of English. He's working on it all the time and studies on planes, trains, and buses. And it's to be assumed that Barlick does not speak a great deal of Spanish, so just exactly what they said to each other, I'm not sure. But when Barlick made his motion, putting Chacon out of the ball game, he got the message. Everybody in the ballpark got the message. Here's Thornberry at the plate. Joe Moeller winds and fires, and there's a fly ball to center field. Willie Davis comes in a few steps and makes the catch for the out. So Marv Thornberry hops on the first ball pitch and flies to center. And that brings up Charlie Neal. Up twice, flat out to left field both times. Charlie Neal, a member of the Dodger Alumni Association. Moeller's pitch is in there for a called strike. Moeller, one of the fine young pitchers that the Los Angeles Dodgers have. They have depth just about everywhere. There's a swing and a drive in the center. Willie Davis has it lined up and takes it right there. Solid smash. More of a line drive than a fly ball, but right at Willie Davis in center. 2-away. Nobody on. Felix Mantilla coming up. Mantilla has been up 1 time, and he singled it left to drive in a run. Frank Thomas had opened the 4th inning with a triple, and then after 2 had gone out, Mantilla singled him home. That pitch goes high. That pitch is low, and it's ball 2 to Mantilla. New York Mets are one of only 2 Major League Baseball teams that have not been shut out this season. That's the Pirates. Here's a drive going on the left field for another base hit for Mantilla down the line. Could be for extra bases. Tommy Davis over, backhanded up with it, throws to second, but Mantilla pulls up with a stand-up double down the line into the left field corner. His second hit of the night. Mantilla is 2 for 2 with 2 men out. Left-hand batter and catcher Hobie Landreth is coming up for the Mets. Hobie has been up twice, struck out and walked, officially nothing for 1. The New York Mets have pulled enough Garrison finishes this season in the late innings to keep fans interested, even though they are trailing going into the late innings. They have proved that they are not a ball club that is likely to collapse at any time. They battle back all the way. Here's the pitch to Landreth, and it comes inside for a ball, driving him way back. Dave Hillman throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets now in case we get as far as the pitcher, and manager Casey Stengel wants to go to his bench for a pinch hitter once again. Trailing by a score of 8-3, you have to look for all the offense you can possibly muster. So manager Stengel has Hillman up and throwing again, with the number 8 batter in the batting order up there right now. Here's a pitch to Hobie Landreth. Swung on, and it's popped to shortstop. Maury Wills takes it out there in short left field. Sounded like it might have been a broken bat. And so in the top half of the 6th inning, the New York Mets are out with no runs on 1 hit, the double by Mantilla, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5 1/2 innings of play in Los Angeles, California, the score is the Dodgers 8 and the Mets 3. Now here's your chance to enjoy 60 seconds of uninterrupted music, brought to you by New York's favorite beer, Rheingold Extra Dry. Session in progress here at Dodger Stadium, and they use the message board to flash the words of the songs, and the fans can join in, sort of like following the bouncing ball once upon a time. The Los Angeles Dodgers in the bottom half of the 6th inning send up the head of the batting order, Maury Wills, Jim Gilliam, and Willie Davis, facing left-hander Ken McKenzie. That is an advantage, of course, in that it moves Maury Wills, a switch hitter, over to the far side of the plate. He bats right-handed, of course, against left-handers, and that puts him a step or 2 away from first base. Pitch is inside for a ball. As has been pointed out a number of times, once upon a time in his minor league career, he was strictly a right-hand batter. Pitch is in there for a called strike, but he had so much speed that he decided he would make himself a switch hitter so that he could bat from the other side of the plate and use that speed to get down to first, and it's worked very well for Maury Wills. Let-up pitch, swung on, ground ball through the hole into left field for a base hit. Frank Thomas on one knee, blocks it up with it, fires it back into second base. Turning and holding is Maury Wills. He's on at first, and when Maury Wills is on at first, it is an exciting time. Tonight he's been on 3 times. He has stolen 2 bases, and he's been thrown out once. Hobie Landreth nabbed him with a beautiful throw down to Mantilla in the 4th inning. And it was only the 3rd time this season that he has been nabbed stealing. He's running. Here's a fly ball to right field. Joe Christopher over. Has it, and Maury Wills goes back to first. That is the 3rd time tonight that has happened. On 3 occasions, Maury Wills has been on at first with nobody out. And on 3 occasions, they have put on the hit and run, and Gilliam has flied to right all 3 times. So with 1 away, Willie Davis is coming up. Now here's the speed combination. Murray Wills on first and Davis at the plate. Davis is 1 for 3. Hobie Landreth is out to check with Ken McKenzie. Pitch to Davis, low for ball 1. Wills leads at first base. He's running, and the ball is bunted down the third base line, of foul ball. That's the second time that's happened tonight. A great sameness to the pattern as Maury Wills now returns to first base. The Dodgers are leading the Mets by a score of 8-3 here. Dodgers have 11 hits, and the Mets have 6. Pitches outside for a ball. Most Los Angeles observers have been a little surprised at the overall strength of the New York Mets, as the first 2 games of the series went right down to the wire. He's running, the throw is going through to second base, and he's safe at second base. Davis took a cut at the pitch. Landreth's throw was all right, but Maury Wills simply slid underneath and was there. With his tremendous speed, that is his 3rd stolen base of the night. 22 stolen bases for Maury Wills. He's been thrown out once tonight. Pitch was cut on by Willie Davis at the plate and missed, so the count to him is 2-2. McKenzie looking in to get a sign from Hobie Landreth, and Willie Davis backs out of the batter's box. I'm tired of waiting. The official paid attendance this Friday night at Dodger Stadium, 26,907. 26,907, the official paid here tonight. Pitch is low and away. It's out 3-2 now to Willie Davis, with Tommy Davis on deck for the Dodgers. Still throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's low. Ball 4. He walked him. That is the second walk given up by Ken McKenzie. With 1 man out, Tommy Davis coming in. Speed to Bird on the bases now, with Maury Wills at second, Willie Davis at first. Dodgers, of course, lead the National League in stolen bases. They have 46 as a team coming into tonight's game, and they have stolen 3 tonight, so they have 49. Here's a swing and a drive going into center field. It is dipping in for a base hit. Maury Wills is coming on to score. Willie Davis is going to third. Ashford's relay comes to second, and on at first with a single at center and a run batted in is Tommy Davis, as the Los Angeles Dodgers now lead by a score of 9-3. And manager Casey Stengel is coming slowly out of the dugout and now breaks into a jog. Stengel on the way to the mound. He has had Dave Hillman throwing out there. So Stengel gives the sign to the bullpen. Doug Harvey, the rookie umpire, who is umpiring at first, runs down to the bullpen area. Bullpen area for the visitors is located down in the right field corner, and it is hidden from view by the curve of the stands down there, very similar to the manner that the bullpens at Yankee Stadium are somewhat hidden from view from the home plate area. Dave Hillman making the long walk in, and it is a long walk here. He'll be coming in to face Frank Howard with runners at first and third and 1 man out. Now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
At the 810 spot on your radio dial, this is WGY Schenectady.
Dave Hillman has just come on in relief of Ken McKenzie, who worked 1 in the 3rd innings, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits. Struck out 9 and walked 2. And Frank Howard steps into the batter's box, big right-hand batter. Tommy Davis at first, Willie Davis at third. The unrelated Davis boys on base for the Dodgers. Pitch is low for a ball. Frank Howard tonight is nothing for 2 and a walk. That pitch misses outside. It's ball 2. So Howard backs out and takes a look down at third where Leo DeRocher is coaching. DeRocher is peering into the dugout intently to get a sign relayed from manager Walter Austin. Pitch is low. It's ball 3. 3-0, and Dave Hillman goes back now behind the rubber, takes off his glove and starts rubbing up the ball. He's gone out quickly. 3-0 on Frank Howard. Here's the pitch. It is going high. Ball 4, and he walked him. This is Hillman's 7th appearance with the New York Mets. So the bases are loaded, and Ron Fairley is coming up. The left-hand batter who is 2 for 3 tonight, and he's driven in 2 runs. Willie Davis at third, Tommy Davis at second, Frank Howard at first. 1 man out. Manager Walter Austin uses Malevy at first and Leo DeRocher at third. And his pitching coach, of course, is Joe Becker. And his batting coach is Pete Weezer. Here's the pitch to Ron Fairley. Swung on, ground ball to the right side. And threw it into right field. 1 run has scored. 2 runs have scored. Christopher whips the ball in, and holding at third is Frank Howard. And on at first base on an error by Marv Thornberry is Ron Fairley. It was a ground ball, and Marv Thornberry had it squared, and it went right through his legs and on out into right field. 2 runs scoring on the error by Thornberry at first base. As Willie Davis scored, and Tommy Davis scored, and Frank Howard moved to third, and Fairley held it first. Still only 1 man out. It's 11-3 now, the Dodgers leading the Mets. Dave Hillman pounds the ball into his glove a time or 2. Looks around the outfield. Here is the pitch low for a ball. Entirely likely that the fact that contributed a great deal of that error was Marv Thornberry trying to figure out exactly what would be his best play. With the bases loaded and 1 man out. There's a drive into center field, curving away from Richie Ashburn. Ashburn can't get it. He's going on through and go all the way to the wall. 1 run has scored. 2 runs are in, and coming out around for the plate is Burright. He is safe at the plate. He made it all the way around. Larry Burright getting a green light from Coach Leo DeRocher. Came all the way around, and it's a hit all the way. It is an inside-the-park home run. A hit for 4 all the way, an inside-the-park home run for Larry Burright, and it is a 3-run homer. Off the bat of the right-hand batter. It was hit out into center field, slightly over toward right, but of course was curving away from Richie Ashburn, who had been shaded over toward left. Ashburn made a dive for it and could not come up with the shoestring catch, and it went on through for an inside-the-park home run. The pitch to Norm Sherry. It swung on and missed for strike 1. Burright got to third, and he was looking for Coach Leo DeRocher, who was all the way down near the home plate area. And the pitch is inside. It has Nick Sherry, and he goes down to first, hit by a pitch ball. There's still only one man out for the Dodgers, as Joe Moeller's coming up now, the ninth man that they have sent up here. This is the second time tonight that the Dodgers have been able to bat around in an inning. The score is now the Dodgers 14 and the New York Mets 3. Dave Hillman into the stretch. Pitch goes high to Moeller. It's the ball. In the dugout during batting practice, Charlie Neal said to Rogers Hornsby, what kind of a hitter was DeRocher? Hornsby said the pitcher could run through the strike zone and he couldn't hit him. Throw over to first. So Charlie Neal relayed that information to Leo. Leo said, yes, I know who told you that. And it's unfair because it's true. Here's a swing and a miss. 1-1. Then Charlie Neal said to Hornsby, what kind of a glove man was DeRocher? Hornsby said he was a great glove man. That's how he stayed in the major leagues. Swinging a foul ball. Into the stands and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to pitcher Joe Moeller at the plate. 19 years of age. Here's a pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, struck him out, and Hobie Lander bluffed the throw, had the arm cocked, but did not throw down to first. So Moeller is out for the second out. And Murray Wills is coming up now for the second time in this inning. Single, stole a base, and scored earlier this inning. Dave Hillman chalking up his first strikeout. 2-away runner at first. Pitch is low for a ball. Murray Wills, a switch hitter, of course, is back around batting left-handed against right-hander Dave Hillman. Here's a swing and a drive out into right field for a base hit. Christopher up for the ball. Holding at second is Norm Sherry, the catcher. Norm Sherry holding at second on the line drive out into right field. That's 4 hits tonight for Murray Wills. 4 singles. Brings up. A pinch hitter for Jim Gilliam.
For Gilliam, number 21, Andy Carey.
Andy Carey is pinch hitting for Jim Gilliam. Andy Carey, who put in a lot of good years with the New York Yankees as a third baseman, is now coming on as a pinch hitter for Gilliam. It's in there for a call strike. Actually, he's being inserted to replace Gilliam here in the late innings, as the Dodgers have a 14-3 lead. Andy Carey, right-hand batter. Pitch is swung on and fouled out to the right side. Andy Carey went from the Yankees to the White Sox and on to the Phils, and decided he really didn't want to play much more away from home, and so was traded on to the Los Angeles Dodgers so that he could continue to live here in Los Angeles, where he makes his home. The Dodgers, of course, have Andy Carey for infield insurance, and they have Darrell Spencer as well. In there for a call, strike 3. Hillman struck Carey out to retire the side. Hillman getting 2 strikeouts in the inning. In the bottom half of the 6th inning, the Los Angeles Dodgers got 6 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And at the end of 6 full innings of play, the score is the Los Angeles Dodgers 14, the New York Mets 3. And coming in here now to carry you the rest of the way, Bob Murphy.
Thank you very much, Lindsey Nelson. Well, Lindsey, it's still your birthday in California, but in New York, it has passed you by because of the time difference. But happy birthday, both in California and in New York. In the 7th inning, the New York Mets will have Dave Hillman coming out to lead off, followed by Richie Ashburn and then Joe Christopher. Well, the game down in Houston now has gone 12 innings, and it's tied up 3-3. At the end of 6 1/2, the Giants, with 4 runs in the 6th inning, now lead the Phillies 10-1. Willie Mays grabbing the Major League home run lead by cracking his 14th with 2 men on in the third inning. You know, Well, lots of fans are switching to the Mets, and lots of fans are switching to Viceroys for the taste that's right. Now let's check the changes being made by Walter Alston. Andy Carey will be at third, and Darrell Spencer will be at short, resting Maury Wills. Spencer will hit first in the Dodger batting order. This was quite a game for Maury Wills. Maury had 4 hits and 5 times up. He stole 3 bases. He was caught on one occasion on a good peg by Hobie Landrum. So Maury Wills has now stolen 22 bases in the season, not yet into the month of June. Now Jim Hickman is coming out to hit for Dave Hellman. Mets will have a new pitcher in the game. In the last half of the inning, a high fly hit the left field by Jim Hickman. Moving in under it is Tommy Davis, and he makes the catch for the out. Joe Moeller, retiring pinch hitter Jim Hickman, 1 down and nobody on. That'll bring up Richie Ashburn. Richie has a perfect night at the plate. He's been up 3 times, walked twice, and picked up a base hit. Delivery by Moeller, a smash through the box, a base hit for Ashburn, and he's on base 4 times in a row now. Willie Davis whipping the ball back into Larry Burright. Well, Richie getting 2 for 2 tonight moves up to tie Joe Medwick in the all-time base hit derby. Richie now has 2,471. Joe Christopher stepping in. Joe hitless and 3 times up, but has knocked in a run. The pitch by Moeller. Ground ball to shortstop. Darrell Spencer flips to Burright. There's one on to first, not in time. Christopher reaching on the fielder's choice. Two down, a man on, and Cliff Cook will be up. Cliff hit a home run his last time up. Cliff has 1 hit and 3 times up. That was a home run into the left field bleachers. Hit a long fly to center field in the third that was run down back about 390 by Willie Davis. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. In comes the pitch to him, and it's ripped foul back up against the screen. Tonight's game, the hot Dodger bats have been able to score against each of the 4 pitchers used by Casey Stengel. Al Jackson gave up 5 runs. Bob Moore had 2, Ken McKenzie 4, and Dave Hillman gave up 3. Now the pitch to Cliff Cook. He holds up on a curve, but it bends in there for a call strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Single game tomorrow and a doubleheader on Sunday against the Giants at Candlestick Park. And after the Sunday doubleheader, the New York Mets will be flying back to New York. Monday and Tuesday will be off days, and the homestand opens on Memorial Day. Doubleheader against the Dodgers. Broken over the outside corner for a call, strike 3. Joe Moeller picking up his 5th strikeout on a curve that caught the outside corner to Cliff Cook. In the 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. And now at the end of 6.5 innings, the score here at Dodger Stadium, it's the Dodgers 14 and the New York Mets 3. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
I've been out with my truck for a week on the road and was heading on home with a 10-ton load. The trip was long. It felt good to get back. Then I went for a smoke and found an empty pack. I asked for my brand at a diner I know. The man said,
All out of yours. Try these, Joe.
now I only smoke filters, but these were too light. Then a cute little waitress set things right. She said,
Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong.
not too light. Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Now I smoke Viceroy, and it must be fate, cause that waitress and I have a wedding date.
Ah, that's right.
So now I know when I'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong,
Some too light.
but Viceroy's got
The taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Now Walmer Vinegar Ben Mizell comes in to hurl for the New York Mets as we move along to the last half of the 7th inning. Vinegar Bend worked in relief of Dave Hillman against the Houston Colt 45s in the 3-2 game. Vinegar was the losing pitcher, although he turned in a fine relief job. He gave up only 1 run over 5 1/3, and that 1 run was the run that beat him. The Colt 45s winning the game on Monday night by a score of 3-2. Jim Golden went all the way to win the game for Houston. So Vinegar Bend, needing to get some work in, is brought on by Casey Stengel here in the last of the 7th inning. Fans, remember that while the New York Mets are away, tickets for the homestand at the Polo Grounds are on sale. 7 days a week at the Polo Grounds at Grand Central Station at the 42nd and Vanderbilt ramp, and also for your convenience at Long Island waiting room at the Penn Station. Now Willie Davis leads off in the last of the 7th. Willie has 1 for 3 and has knocked in a run. Vinegar Bend winds and pitches. Big slow curve that gets the outside corner for a call strike. Pitch to Davis, taken inside and high. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the Dodgers, 14 runs, 14 hits, and 1 error. The New York Mets, 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Larry Burright has knocked 4 runs in. Tommy Davis and Ronnie Fairley have each knocked in 3. There's a drive in the center for a base hit. Willie Davis has been hitting the left-handers better than the right-handers this year. He's hitting over 500 against southpaw pitching. So there is the 15th Dodger hit of the game, and it brings up Tommy Davis. Tommy has 3 for 4, has knocked 3 runs in, boosting his season's total to 43. Starting today's games, Orlando Cepeda with 44 was facing the National League. Pitch by Vinegar. A fly ball in the air to left center field. It's looping in. Ashburn running in, but it's going to drop for a base hit. The throw comes into second base. Runners on first and third. Willie Davis flying around, goes on to third. That ball got out there and just died. He must have hit it right off the end, and it's in for a Texas League single. So Tommy Davis now has 4 hits in the game. Maury Wills had 4 for 5 when he was replaced by Darrell Spencer, and Tommy Davis now has 4 for 5. Big night for the Dodger bats at the expense of the New York Mets. The hitter now is Frank Howard. He's 0 for 2. Twice he has drawn a walk. 6'7" right-hand hitter leans in and takes, and it's outside, ball 1. Mizell, the 5th pitcher, used tonight by the Mets. Inside and low, 2 balls and no strikes to Frank Howard. Ron Fairley on deck, and then Larry Burright. Now the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slow curve. He really gave that one a riffle. Former Ohio State star Frank Howard trying to lean into a slow curve in the count 2-1. Runners on first and third, nobody out. Another slow curve, but it's outside. Ball 3, 3-1. At Houston, the Pittsburgh Pirates got a run in the top of the 13th inning. And they lead the Houston Colt 45s 4-3. The 45s hitting now in the last half of the 13th inning. Mets with the outfield deep and around toward left. Mantilla, the shortstop, over toward the hole against Howard. A high fly hit deep to center field. It's way out there. Ashburn way back, way back. He makes the catch in deep center field. Willie Davis tags up, comes in to score after the catch. And the Dodgers go out in front 15-3. High and long was that one hit by Frank Howard. Scored a sacrifice fly. Willie Davis crossing the plate after the catch. 15-3 now in favor of the Dodgers. The batter is Ron Fairley. Fairley has 2 for 4, a single and a double, and he's knocked 3 runs in. Fairley hitting at 281. Left-hander against left-hander, and the fastball is over. Strike 1 call. Well, the New York pitchers kept the Dodger bats in check in the first 2 games of this series. But the booming Dodger bats have really broken out tonight. They're a hot ball club. They've won 12 of their last 16 games. Pitching, line drive, punch to left field, running in is Frank Thomas. He dives. He can't get it. He has to block the ball. On his way to third now goes Tommy Davis to throw to third. Not in time. Gets away from Cook. Backed up by Vinegar Bend. And on to second. On the throw to third goes Ron Fairley. Runners on second and third now for the Dodgers. Ron Fairley getting his 3rd hit. A line drive to left field. Thomas tried to shoestring it. Kept the ball in front of him. He couldn't catch it, but he blocked it with his body. By the time he scrambled to his feet and threw to third, trying for Tommy Davis, it was not in time. And Fairley went to second on the throw. Ron Fairley now has 3 for 5, and the hitter now is Larry Burright. Rookie Larry Burright has 2 for 3, a double, and an inside-the-park home run. He has driven 4 runs in. His home run was a line drive up the alley in right center. Ashburn tried to shoestring it, missed it, and the ball went back toward the barrier. Christopher was the backup man on the play and fired into Felix Mantilla. From here it looked as though Burright was going to hold up at third, but when the throw from Christopher into Mantilla tried to catch it on a hop. It popped out of his glove and rolled away, and then he broke it and came on in. Ground ball tapped foul down the third baseline. Dodgers now have 3 hits off Mizell here in the 7th inning, and they own 17 in the game. Fastball missing inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy Sturdivant has come on in relief for the Pirates now in the last half of the 13th inning in Houston. The Bucks have gone in front 4-3 with Houston hitting in the last half of the 13th. In this game, the Dodgers have enjoyed 2 6-run innings. The Phillies came up with 3 in the 8th inning at San Francisco to narrow the gap a bit. They trailed 10-4. Foul ball off the fist, coming back upstairs and out of play. Tony Gonzalez hit a 2-run homer in the 8th inning for the Phillies off Billy Pierce. Even swing and a miss. He struck him out. Vinegar got him with a high hard one. Now there are 2 away, and coming up will be Norm Sherry. Norm has a double and 3 times up tonight. He was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. His double knocked 2 runs in. Two down, runners on second and third, 1 run in, 15-3, Dodgers out in front. Foul ball. Wafted back toward the crowd. It'll be out of play on the count. Strike 1 on Norm Sherry. Sherry, a right-hand hitter, gets his work in against the southpaw pitchers. Tonight the Mets started Al Jackson, and so Walter Alston had Sherry behind the plate, catching Joe Moeller. In comes the pitch. A ground ball hit toward the hole, and it's through for a base hit. This is going to score 1 run. Thomas pegging toward the plate. It's cut off, and 2 runs are in. Tommy Davis and Ron Fairley cross the plate to make it 17-3 in favor of the Dodgers. So Norm Sherry has knocked 4 runs in tonight. The Dodgers now with 3 runs, 4 hits off Mizell in the last of the 7th. Now Joe Moeller comes up. Moeller has 1 hit and 4 times up. Larry Burright and Norm Sherry each have driven 4 runs in. Tommy Davis and Ron Fairley each have driven in 3. Strike one called, an overhand fastball by Mizell. The Dodgers 17 runs on 18 hits and 1 error. The Mets 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. He went after a curve and missed. Strike 2. Crowd of 26,907 for the finale of this 3-game series. Foul ball hit down the right field line. This will be into the crowd and out of play. In the 7th. The Dodgers have scored 15 of their 17 runs in 3 innings. Strike 3 called, and the side is out. Moeller called out on strikes. In the last half of the 7th, the Dodgers come up with 3 more runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. And now at the end of 7, the score, the Dodgers 17 and the New York Mets 3. Our broadcast time tomorrow, actually we should say today insofar as the folks in New York are concerned, because it certainly is well past midnight in New York, but anyhow, for the Saturday game in San Francisco will be 2:55 New York time. The doubleheader on Sunday starts at high noon in San Francisco. That means we'll be on at 2:55 Sunday afternoon with the first game of the doubleheader. And the Mets will have Jay Hook pitching against Al Dark's Giants in the opener of the series in the Saturday game tomorrow. The Mets coming home for the doubleheader against these Dodgers on Memorial Day. Dodgers playing their best baseball of the year right now. With a victory tonight, they will have taken 13 of their last 17 ball games. And if they win tonight, it'll be 5 straight, their longest winning streak of the season. They've owned a 4-game winning streak on 3 other occasions. We know you'll be wanting to make your ticket plan soon now to attend the excitement of the Old Timers game on July the 14th in the Polo Grounds. As many players as can possibly attend will be on hand who participated in the dramatic playoff series in 1951 between the Dodgers and the Giants. Bobby Thompson, who struck the blow that was heard around the world, will be on hand. He's already turned in his acceptance. Ralph Branco will be there. And, of course, Leo DeRocher was at the helm of the Giants when they staged that big miracle of Coogan's Bluff, and Leo will be on hand. And you could go on naming a game that will mean so much to so many players from a nostalgic standpoint as they come in on July 14th for the Old Timers game. Now in the 8th inning, it'll be Frank Thomas, 2 for 3, coming up against Joe Moeller. The Dodgers broke this game when they scored 6 in the 3rd inning for a 7-1 lead. Then they broke it wide open when they got 6 runs in the 6th inning and added 3 in the 7th. A high fly ball hit deep to left field by Frank Thomas. Davis may have room. He jumps. He can't get it. It's gone for a home run. Frank Thomas hitting his 13th home run of the year. Frank Thomas getting number 13 with a high fly to left field. It dropped into the bullpen, clearing the fence at the 370-foot mark. Frank has hit 5 home runs on this road trip. He hit 3 in Milwaukee. He's now hit 2 here. Marv Throneberry takes a pitch up high, and it's ball 1. So Frank Thomas is now just 1 behind the Major League leader, Willie Mays, who has 14. And that's the 30th RBI of the year for Frank Thomas. What a road trip he's had. Call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Thomas in tonight's game has a single, triple, and home run. Foul ball back off the bat of Thornberry. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mets have now hit 2 home runs tonight. Cliff Cook hit one earlier in the game. Both have been hit to left field. This is not an easy ballpark to hit home runs. There won't be a lot of them hit here this year. Thornberry holding up on a breaking ball. Count is even now to Marv at 2-2. (17-4) in favor of the Dodgers. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Outside and high. Full count, 3-2. A little bit low, it's ball 4, and Thornberry walks.
We pause now for station identification.
5. Nobody out. Marv Thornberry on first. Pitch by Joe Moeller. A swing and a miss, strike 1. They're in the 9th inning now in San Francisco, with the Giants leading the Phillies by a score of 10-4. In comes the pitch to Neal. He lets it go. It's outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Moeller, the rookie right-hander, has given up 4 runs, allowed 8 base hits. Pitch thrown way inside. Charlie had to drop his bat and lean away from that one. Joe Moeller, the 19-year-old right-hander who was born in Chicago, Illinois, kicks the leg. Down comes his pitch. A check swing foul ball over toward the crowd. This will be out of play, and it's 2-2 on Charlie Neal. Bill Hunter, the New York Mets' newest pitcher, arrived and is in uniform. However, he worked 6 innings in relief 2 days ago. Bounding ball hit towards short, fielded by Spencer, flipped to Burright, out at second for the force play. Actually, Spencer's throw, an underhand toss, was in the dirt, and Burright had to one-hand it out of the dirt. But he did so in time to get the force on Marv Thornberry. Charlie Neal safe on the fielder's choice. Now Felix Mantilla coming up. Felix is 2 for 2 since coming into the game. He came in after Al Barlick threw Elio Chacon out of the game for arguing on a pickoff attempt, in which Elio thought he had nabbed Maury Wills. Lined hard to left field, and that's a 3rd base hit for Felix Mantilla. The ball gets by. Tommy Davis rolls with the wall back toward left center field. Around third in to score is Charlie Neal, and all the way to third on it goes Felix Mantilla. It'll be a 3-base hit. Tommy Davis, running to the line, tried to make a backhand pickup of the ball. It went under him and into the corner, and then followed the curve of the wall around toward left center. So by the time he can track it down and get it back in, it's a triple for Mantilla and an RBI. Well, Felix now has 3 for 3 and has knocked 2 runs in. Obie Landreth takes ball 1. 17-5 the score now. Dodgers out in front. Line drive in the air to short left field. Coming in is Davis. It's in, a base hit. He has to play it on a hop. Mantilla comes in to score, and it's now 17-6. A run batted in for Obie Landreth. brings up Mizell. Vinegar will be hitting right-handed. The Mets now have 3 runs in on 3 hits here in the top of the 8th inning. A swing and a miss, strike 1. 1 man away. It's all over in Houston. The Pirates won it in 13 innings by a score of 4-3. Fastball over, a call strike. Elroy Face, who came on in the 8th inning, remains to be the winning pitcher, and the loser, Bobby Tiefenauer, the knuckleballer who came on in the 12th inning. Pittsburgh 4 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. Houston 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Curve over, a call strike to Mizell. So Wilmer is called out on strikes, and there are 2 away.
Richie Ashburn, center field.
6 strikeouts for Joe Mueller. Richie Ashburn coming up. Richie has a perfect night at the plate. Has walked twice and singled twice. So Richie is 2 for 2. Outside and high, it's ball 1. Now Walter Alston has Ed Roebuck loosening up in the bullpen out in left field. The Mets now have 6 runs and 10 hits in the game. Right-hander Joe Mueller off the stretch. The pitch to Ashburn. He bluffs the running bunt, lays off of it, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. It'll take the Mets probably about 3 hours after the game is over to get to San Francisco, probably about 3.5 by the time they get to the hotel. Next pitch. Outside and high. Mueller behind on the count now, 3-0 to Richie Ashburn. Richie is the 7th man up for the New York Mets here in the 8th inning, and they have 3 runs in, including Frank Thomas's 13th homer of the year. Ball 4, and Ashburn has been on base 5 straight times. Richie has walked 3 times and singled twice. He's been on base 5 for 5 in the game. Joe Christopher up. Joe 0 for 4 tonight. He knocked in a run back in the 3rd inning with a ground ball. At the time, it tied up the game 1-1. Foul ball back toward the press box. No play. All 3 of the games in San Francisco will be both broadcast and televised. Monday and Tuesday, the Mets will be idled. They have the Memorial Day doubleheader at the Polo Grounds with the Dodgers on next Wednesday. One ball, 1 strike now to Joe Christopher. Bill Hunter joined the New York Mets today. It completed the deal that the Mets had made with the Dodgers for Charlie Neal. Hunter was the player that was to be named later. The Mets gave Lee Walls plus $100,000 for Charlie Neal and a player to be named later, and that player is southpaw Bill Hunter. To make room for Hunter, Johnny DeMeritt went to Syracuse. Christopher waiting, the 1-1 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. He went to a breaking ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Dodgers' young strikeout artist, Pete Rickard, is out with a sore arm right now. He hurt his arm throwing a fastball. He ripped a muscle in throwing it, much in the same way Mickey Mantle hurt his leg running. Ball 2, it's outside, and the count is even 2-2. Dodgers 17 runs on 18 hits. The Mets 6 runs on 10 base hits. Obie Landreth on second. Richie Ashburn on first. 2 men down. A ground ball hit to second base. Larry Burright is up with it. He throws to Fairley in time, getting Christopher, and the side is out. The Mets sent 8 men to the plate in the 8th inning. They scored 3 runs. There were 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. And now at the end of 7 1/2 innings, the score, the Dodgers 17 and the New York Mets 6. Coming up now, a musical pitch with an interesting switch.
This is Tito Rodriguez for Rheingold Extra Dry. Rheingold, el brindis perfecto para todos, familia y amigos. De sabor sin igual, la cerveza ideal. Tome Rheingold, bien fría y vera. In Spanish, it's magnifica. In English, it's great. In any language, it's Rheingold Extra Dry. Rheingold is brewed longer and slower for flavor that's clean, clear through. It's beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why. My beer is Rheingold, that dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's the dry flavor treat. Want to try extra dry Rheingold beer?
The last of the 8th inning now, Darrell Spencer will be up for the first time in the game. He relieved Maury Wills in the top of the 7th. Maury Wills had 4 for 5 tonight, stole 3 bases, was thrown out once, and scored 3 runs. Taken up high by Darrell Spencer, ball 1. Veteran Darrell Spencer hitting at .250. Well, that game at San Francisco is getting interesting. Johnny Callison hit a 3-run homer in the 9th inning. Inside and low. It's now 10-7, the Giants in front, and Stu Miller has come on to replace Billy Pierce. Phillies coming up with 2 late-inning home runs that have really closed the gap. Mizell delivers a swing and a miss. So the Phillies are batting in the 9th. They have 3 in on a 3-run homer by Callison. It's now 10-7 Giants. Phillies hitting. Two-one delivery, a swing and a miss. Count 2-2 on now Darrell Spencer. Darrell, of course, has good power. Right-hand hitter batting out of a crouch. Swing and a miss, and Mizell struck him out with a curve. Third strikeout for Vinegar Bend. He whiffed 2 in the 7th inning. Now Andy Carey up for the second time. Andy was called out on strikes in the 6th inning. He relieved Junior Gilliam by batting for Gilliam in the 6th inning when Gilliam's turn came up for the second time in the inning. Outside and high, it's ball 1. Mizell winds and pitches. He lays off of it. It's up high, ball 2. It's all over in San Francisco. The Giants won it 10-7. Pierce the winner. Billy winning his 7th game of the year without a loss. Inside, ball 3, 3-0. Jack Hamilton, the loser. The Giants had 10 runs on 7 hits. The Phillies 7 runs on 11 hits. They made 4 errors in the game. Willie Mays hit his 14th. It came in the 3rd, 2 men on. Swing and a miss. He went after the 3-0 pitch. Count 3-1 now on Andy Carey. Willie Davis will be up next. Just missed the inside corner, and Carey walks. Walks haven't figured too prominently in the game as far as the Dodgers are concerned. They simply have been hitting. 17 runs on 18 hits. Sandy Koufax will be pitching for the Dodgers here in L.A. tomorrow as they host the Philadelphia Phillies. And rookie Dennis Bennett will be pitching for the Phillies. Big curve is over to Willie Davis. Willie 2 for 4 tonight. He's also drawn a walk. He scored 3 runs in the game. Willie hitting .341. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. (17-6). Dodgers in front, last half of the 8th inning. A drive in the air to center field. Hurrying back is Ashburn. Way back. Makes a running one-handed grab in deep center field. Andy Carey, almost to second, turns and goes back. Good play on the outfield by Richie Ashburn. He seemed to have it all the way, but nonetheless, he had to really scoot. And he reached up and made a glove-handed grab back on the edge of the warning path. Now here's Tommy Davis. He's had a big night. Tommy with 4 for 5, 3 RBIs. Ball 1. He now has driven 43 runs in, and he's sitting at 317. Inside at the letters to Tommy Davis. 2 balls and no strikes. Tommy Davis has hit 10 home runs. The nearest to him on the Dodger club is Willie with 5. Fly ball hit deep to right field. Hurrying back is Christopher. He's getting there. And he makes the catch. The side is out. In the 8th inning for the Dodgers, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. Now at the end of 8, the score, the Dodgers 17 and the New York Mets 6. In the 9th inning, the Mets will have Cliff Cook, Frank Thomas, and Marv Throneberry coming up. We're going to have a pitching change made, I believe, for the 9th inning. Ed Roebuck, who warmed up in the 8th inning, may be given the call to come on in the 9th inning. Ed Roebuck will pitch the 9th inning. Joe Moeller went 8 innings. Gave up 6 runs, 10 hits. Walked 6 and struck out 6. Right here, while Roebuck throws in his warm-up tosses, we'll take the opportunity to pause for station identification.
At the 810 spot on your radio dial, this is WGY Schenectady.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from Dodger Stadium. We're going along to the 9th inning with Cliff Cook to lead off against Ed Roebuck. In other games, and everything is over now with the exception of this game, in the National League, the Braves beat the Cardinals 11-8. Cincinnati beat the Cubs 2-1. The Pirates shaded Houston 4-3 in 13 innings. And the Giants beat the Phillies 10-7. In the American League, Detroit shaded the Yankees 5-4. Ed Roebuck's first pitch is in there to Cook for a call strike. The Angels beat Kansas City 5-4. The Orioles down the Red Sox 9-5. White Sox over Minnesota 5-4. Cleveland beat Washington 2-1. Outside and low to Cliff Cook. 1 ball and 1 strike. Veteran right-hander Ed Roebuck. Into his windup. Pitches. A drive hit hard to left center field toward the alley. Running for it is Tommy Davis. He can't get it. The ball bounced back against the wall. And Cook is on his way to second. He's in standing up with a line drive double. Ball was well hit by Cliff Cook. He's hit the ball hard throughout the game. He now has a double and a home run. And once he was retired on a fly ball hit deep to center field. Now Rod Caniel will hit for Frank Thomas. Manager Casey Stengel wanting Frank to go in and get his shower and be rested for the important 3 games with the Giants. And so Rod Caniel comes up, hits a ground ball hard down to third, knocked down by Carey. He picks it up. He throws, but not in time. And Caniel is on. Runners now on first and second. It'll be an error charge to Andy Carey. big night for Frank Thomas. Frank had 3 for 4, a single, a triple, and a home run. Has now hit safely in 14 consecutive games. Marv Throneberry up, bounces one foul, no play. And over the 14-game span, Frank now is hitting 404. He's had 23 hits in his last 57 at-bats during the 14 games. He's had a great road trip. Hit 3 home runs in Milwaukee. He's hit 2 here, 5 on the trip. 13 for the year, just 1 behind Willie Mays. Now has driven 30 runs in. Throneberry 0 for 3 tonight. Bounces the curve foul down in behind Cookie Lavagetto, coaching at first. Ed Roebuck, who at times has been trouble with an ailing arm. He was trouble last year, was great the year before that, and trouble the year before that. Appears to be sound again, which is good news for the Dodgers. Roebuck has won 2 and lost none. His earned run mark 2.9, and this is his 19th game. Way inside to Marv Throneberry. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 9th. 17-6, the Dodgers in front. Foul tip, no play, into the dirt. Charlie Neal will be up next. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Cook opened the 9th inning with a double. Rod Keneal reached safely on an error charge to Andy Carey, the third baseman. Pitch to Throneberry, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Ed Roebuck fanning Marv Throneberry. 1 away now in the 9th. Charlie Neal, 0 for 4, reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. Sidearm delivery, a swing and a miss by Charlie Neal, strike 1. Dodgers 17 runs on 18 hits. They've been charged with 2 errors. Now Neal laying off of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Roebuck brought on to pitch the 9th inning by Walt Alston. Looks in now to take his sign from Norm Sherry. Here's the pitch to Neal, and it gets the outside corner for a call strike. Charlie didn't think so, and he stands to discuss it a bit with Ed Vargo. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Batting stars of the game tonight for the Dodgers, Maury Wills with 4 for 5. Tommy Davis with 4 for 5. Tommy knocked 3 runs in, but Norm Sherry and Larry Burright each knocked in 4. In the dirt, it bounds away from Norm Sherry, and the runners are going to move up. Cliff Cook going to third, and Rod Keneal to second. Runners move up on the wild pitch. The Mets have runners on second and third, 1 down. Count 2-2 to Charlie Neal. Sidearm delivery, hit on the ground down to third, fielded by Carey. He holds the runner at third, throws to first in time, and Neal is out. Now Now there are 2 away in the top of the ninth. The Mets trailing 17-6, and Felix Mantilla comes up. Been a banner night for Felix. He has a single, a double, and a triple. He's 3 for 3 and has knocked 2 runs in. Mantilla back over the 300 mark. Inside and low, the Mets now have 4 300 hitters: Richie Ashburn, Frank Thomas, Obie Landreth, and Felix Mantilla. Felix with 3 for 3 is up to 307. Hit on the ground, through the hole, a base hit to left field is 4th. In to score is Cook, coming down to score Rod Canneel. 2 runs are in on the single by Felix Mantilla. So Felix has collected 4 for 4 and knocked 4 runs in. That gives Mantilla 16 RBIs for the year. Only 1 behind Charlie Neal. Charlie is the runner-up on the ball club, and of course Thomas the leader with 30. Big night for both Frank Thomas and Felix Mantilla. Inside and low to Obie Landreth. 2 runs in, it's now 17-8. Obie has 1 for 3. He single driving in a run his last time up. Ground smash through the box over second. A base hit to center field. Mantilla goes down to second and holds up there. Now the Mets have runners on first and second. Now let's see who comes up to hit. Sammy Taylor is hurrying in from the bullpen, and perhaps he is the one to be sent up by Casey Stengel. Mizell is the scheduled hitter. Obie now has 2 for 4. Mets have now pounded out 8 runs and 13 hits. Two runs in on 3 hits off Ed Roebuck here in the 9th. Sammy Taylor down around the bat rack, getting his bat and protective helmet. Sammy Taylor coming out as the pinch batter. Sammy hitting at .210 on 13 hits and 62 times up.
For New York, batting for Mizell, number 16, Sammy Taylor.
Now the New York Mets have Felix Mantilla on second, Obie Landreth on first, 2 down. Mets trailing 17-8 in the 9th inning. By Ed Roebuck is a fastball over for a call strike. Dodgers feel they have a strong bullpen with the return to form of Ed Roebuck to go along with Larry Sherry and Ron Peronowski. Willie Davis over in left center, figuring on Sammy Taylor to hit the ball to the opposite field. Swing and a miss on a curve, and the count strike 2 now on Sammy Taylor. Ed Roebuck trying to get the final out. We're in the top of the 9th. Here's his 2-strike pitch. Inside, Sammy just looking at it and letting it go by, and the count 1-2. Richie Ashburn, who's been on base 5 straight times, waiting in the on-deck circle. A high fly ball hit the left field, and this may be the game. Tommy Davis is under it waiting. He has it, and the game is over. In the 9th inning for the New York Mets, they score 2 runs. There were 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. So the Dodgers win it to sweep the series. Final score 17-8. We'll be back with the line score of tonight's game and a word about tomorrow's game in San Francisco in just a moment.
Hi, this is Vic Damone. That Rheingold Extra Dry, now that's the beer to buy. Its flavor's brisk and bright, and clearly extra dry. It's New York's favorite brew, the only one for you, because it's dry and true. That's Rheingold Extra Dry. That Rheingold Extra Dry, man, it's got flavor to spare. Brisk and bright and clean clear through. And dry tells you why. Brewed of the choicest ingredients, the long, slow way. No wonder it's the most popular beer in town. The taste of Rheingold's bright because it's brewed just right. Brewed long and slow for flavor. Clean and extra dry. That Rheingold Extra Dry. Now that's the beer to buy. It's extra dry, that's why. Have a Rheingold beer tonight.
It's all over here at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers with a big night hitting. They had 17 runs on 18 hits. Won it to sweep the 3-game series. And now for the recap on tonight's game and a word about tomorrow's game in San Francisco. Here's Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Bob Murphy. Well, after 2 cliffhangers, which the Mets lost the first 2 games of this series, they lost them 3-1 and 4-2, and both of them were decided in the 8th inning. The Los Angeles Dodgers broke out in a rash of base hits and runs scored to defeat the Mets by a score of 17-8. The Dodgers had 2 big innings. They scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning and scored 6 more in the 6th inning to actually put the game on ice. Their run total of 17, the highest they have scored so far this year. The line score of the ball game, the Dodgers 17 runs, 18 hits. They made 2 errors. 8 men were left. The Mets had 8 runs on 13 hits. They made 1 error and left 10 men on base. The winning pitcher in the ball game was Joe Moeller. He won 8 innings, gave up 6 runs on 10 hits. He struck out 6 and he won. He actually walked 6. His won and loss now 3-4. The losing pitcher was the starter for the Mets, Al Jackson. His record now 2-5. He worked 2 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. Bob Moorhead followed him, worked 2/3 of an inning. Then Ken McKenzie worked 2 1/3 of an inning. Dave Hillman came in for 2/3, and Wilmer Mizell finished up to work the final 2 innings, the 8th and 9th. For the Dodgers, a big night for Maury Wills. He had 4 hits and 5 times up, and he stole 3 bases in the ball game. That's the first time this year he has stolen 3 bases. Willie Davis had 2 for 5. Tommy Davis, a big night, 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs. He now has driven in 43 for the year. He trails the league leader Cepeda by only 1, unless Cepeda picked up some tonight. Ron Fairley had 3 for 5 and 2 runs batted in, and Larry Burwright had an inside-the-park home run to go along with 2 for 4 and 4 RBIs. And Norm Sherry also picked up 2 hits and 4 times to the plate. He had 4 runs batted in. For the New York Mets, Ashburn, a big night. He was on base 5 times. He had 2 hits to go along with 3 walks. Cook hit his first Major League home run. He had 2 for 5 and a run batted in. And Thomas continued to hit the ball well. He has now hit through 15 consecutive ball games. Make that 14 consecutive ball games. And through that time, he has hit at an average of 404. He also had a home run, his 13th of the year. And he has really done a job here on this road trip. Elio Chacon was ejected from the ball game, which proved to be a good point for the New York Mets, as Felix Mantilla took his place and promptly came in to get a base hit, a double, a triple, and a single. He was 4 for 4, and he drove in 4 runs in the ball game. The Dodgers now have won 13 of their last 17 games to stay within 1 1/2 games of the league-leading Giants. They have won their last 5 games in a row, which is their longest win streak of the season. The Giants tonight won, incidentally, 10-7 to hold their lead at 1 1/2 games. Well, that wraps up another New York Mets game. Hope you enjoyed it. Rheingold certainly enjoyed bringing it your way. The Mets next face the San Francisco Giants at Candlestick Park, and that game will be New York time today, actually, at 3:55. We'll all be in hand to bring you the action. This broadcast came to you through the courtesy of Liebman Breweries, brewers since 1837. and the Brown & Williamson Tobacco Corporation, B&W, the mark of quality in tobacco products. Right now, I'd like to remind you to enjoy Viceroy cigarettes. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. Now, this is Ralph Kiner saying so long for Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy and for Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. Those two little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold is beer should taste. Why Rheingold is preferred by more New Yorkers than any other beer. You know, Rheingold is brewed from the very choicest ingredients. Brewed the long, slow, costly way for flavor that is brisk and bright and clean, clear through. So fill up your glass with a nice cold, ice-cold, refreshing glass of good Rheingold Extra Dry. Our engineer tonight, Dick Gurnett. Our statistician, Joe McDonald. Our producer, Joe Gallagher. Once again, the score of the ball game, the Dodgers 17, the Mets 8. So long, everybody. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.